One of the most famous models for understanding human psychology and motivation is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I'll explain that in relation to hiring and retention of employees. Hello, I'm Stephen Goldberg of Optimist Performance, bringing you practical tips on leadership, team development, and employee performance in the workplace. Maslow's hierarchy of needs has been around for a long time and referred to by many psychologists, human performance specialists, and I'm going to talk about that today in terms of hiring and retaining employees. Because when people start looking for a job, this model really comes into play and helps understanding how it affects people's perceptions of whether they should stay in the job or leave the job. At the bottom of the model, you have psychological needs, or physiological needs rather. So people at the basis, we need to feel that all our needs for survival are being met. That's the first order of needs. But most of us are beyond that in living in a modern society. If we have a job, we have enough to make ends meet. Of course, we always want more, but that's something else. But at the basis, we need to be able to feed and house ourselves, and that's what the physiological needs are about. Then we are concerned at the same time, or once these physiological needs are met, we need to look at safety and security. So it's not enough just to have food and shelter over our heads. We need to make sure that we live safely, that we're secure, that we're not always being threatened. And so in today's modern societies, most of us that are listening to this video have adequate safety and security. So these two lower level needs shouldn't be an issue. Once this is in place, what we're looking for is love and belonging. Love and belonging means having that social network, having our family close by, and actually a lot of the disruption in modern society is a result of families moving further and further away, so we lose connection with that older culture and that feeling of connection to something bigger than ourselves. And we've seen that with the indigenous cultures, how the disruption, the removal of children from their families, the imposing of cultures that they weren't familiar with, cause them to lose their culture and become kind of lost. So when it comes to the workplace, love and belonging means feeling that you have people at work that care about you, that you have friends that you care about, that there's kind of like this family at work, kind of like an extension of your own family. It's different, of course. It's not your kin, but it's people that you care about and care about you, and you have that in place. It adds to the experience at work. Once we have that, we go into building self-esteem. In other words, feeling that we're worthy, that we're being recognized, that we're appreciated. So this all contributes to raising our self-esteem. I've talked a lot about in my videos the importance of positive feedback, because this contributes to raising somebody's self-esteem. the higher your self-esteem, the more self-confident you are to do more, to contribute more, to take risk. And this taking risk is also a component of taking initiative, solving problems on your own, all this type of thing. And then the highest level that humans seek, according to this model, Maslow, is self-actualization. So self-actualization is about knowing yourself, understanding yourself and others, using all your potential towards being more effective in what you do, but also towards being more satisfied just within yourself, becoming more knowledgeable, developing your skills, all that stuff. So this is ultimately, if you look at the pyramid, as we satisfy our lower needs and move up the ladder, we are all seeking naturally, this is a natural part of being a human being, is seeking self-actualization. Now, some people don't go beyond maybe love and belonging and self-esteem for whatever reason, but within us is that drive to become self-actualized and grow. So how does this, now of course you could debate this model. Many people have today and come out with modified models of their own, but it's a classic model and it makes sense. How does this relate to hiring and retention? Well, if people feel their lower needs are being met, or even their middle need, there's no need to seek other employment. And I talked about this in a recent video, they feel that they have a best friend at work. There's a good level of trust between themselves and their boss. So they're satisfied in these areas. And if they're being recognized for their work, appreciated, that also is being met, because they feel that they're worthy, they're appreciated, they belong. But if they're not growing, and this is where, it affects self-actualization. If people stop growing, it could also put them into a perspective of maybe they're going to become outdated, and then if something happens to the company, they won't be able to get another job. They won't be able to fill their physiological needs, and this could lead to fear of their safety and security of themselves and their loved ones. So this is why it's important to always be giving people an opportunity to grow and develop and to move towards that need for self-actualization. Otherwise, they may become complacent and start looking for other opportunities. So if you're searching for an employee, and today it's not enough just to post a job ad to find the right person, you may want to search them out through places like LinkedIn or even on Indeed. They have a feature called resume search. You could search for people using keywords, same thing on LinkedIn, using the Recruiter or Recruiter Lite application or subscription that they offer. And it's very powerful because they collect a lot of data on people, and you could find people using the right keywords. And, you don't know where somebody is in their life cycle for work. Are they feeling threatened to lose their job? And I interviewed somebody for a client the other day, and he, actually I had searched him out on LinkedIn, and he responded. And the reason he was interested in the opportunity I was offering him or presenting was because the company he was working for announced that they were selling the division where he was working. And that made him start thinking of the future, and would he lose his job if somebody else bought the company? It created all these unknowns, and that to him was a risk. So he wanted to be proactive and not be in a situation where he might lose his job and go back down into filling his physiological needs. Now, of course, the more somebody has high self-esteem and self-confidence, the less fear they may experience with the threat of losing their job. But I connected with the person just at the right time because he hadn't actually started looking. He had been thinking about it because of the announcement the company made. So you don't know when to contact somebody. All you can do is focus in on their skills, on their prospective fit for the job by their past, and then see what their situation is. There's no way to really predict it unless you know yourself that the company has announced that they're going to be downsizing or selling. So those are good indicators if you're looking for somebody. Obviously, if a competitor or a company that has people with the skill set you're looking for are announcing something publicly, there's an opportunity to recruit some employees. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a good model to understand yourself, your own needs, and to also understand the needs of employees. And from a leadership perspective, what you can do to keep them moving towards self-actualization, to keep them feeling like they're growing and that all their needs are being met. Of course, the safety and security, physiological needs, relates also to compensation. So you want to make sure that you're providing competitive and fair compensation so they don't feel like they're being shortchanged compared to what's in the market. So I hope this idea makes sense, this approach. You could research this model, Maslow. I'll put it up on screen so you could see it, and search it out and read more about it if it's something that interests you. Check out some of the related videos. I have a playlist on hiring and selection, also on leadership. There's many videos talking about the importance of giving feedback and contributing to someone's self-esteem and self-confidence. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, do so now and turn on the notification bell to get news of new videos. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk again soon.